One, two, three, audio testing. One, two, three, audio testing. Hello, everybody. Today is May 18th, 2021. Today is our fourth presentation day. So today I will begin with Estefania's Arzade's presentation. She has sent me a pre-recorded presentation talking about how to organize yourself throughout the day. Then Valentina and Gloria, they will go live. In this case, Valentina will talk about, well, she mentioned she's going to talk about a book that she just read. And that book is Diary of Anna Frank. All right, so she will give her insight, her opinion about that book. And then Gloria Casas will talk about gender equality. For the moment, I have no information about Jasmine. She might be working. And then Majo has already sent me a message, and I believe she's going to talk about bulimia and anorexia. And well, this is an eating disorder, and she's going to go into a deeper insight about this eating disorder. So today we will have 1, 2, 3, and 4 presentations, all right? Nazarena, Caitlin, Veronica, and Tamayo, they might as well send their presentation as I am presenting or as students are presenting. So with that being said, let's begin with Estefania's presentation.
Today I will talk about how to be organized. More specific, how to be organized with your days and with your room or your house. Sometimes organizing your life is difficult because every day we have things to do and doing them all is difficult for us. In this occasion, I will give you some tips to be a little more organized. First, you can buy a notebook to write down everything you have to do during the day. And you can check off each thing you have already done. If you are a more technological person, you can write down your activities in an application on your cell phone. Another tip is to set alarms for the most important activities of your day. This is very easy because we have the possibility to do it on our cell phones. And it takes us less than 2 minutes. Something very important that you must do is give you free time to do some hobby or to rest. I think Mm, that is the best tip on the list because we all need time to ourselves. Another important thing is that every time you start to do something of your list, you must finish it always. A habit is acquired in 21 days. So if you want to be organized with your life or your days, you can follow these tips to achieve it. How to be organized with your days. And now I will talk about how to be organized with your house or your room. To have an organized life, you must organize your things and your activities. With your things, I mean the things you use and the place where you live. Some tips that I can give you are that each thing must have its specific place, and you must have cleaning days, and when you finish using something, you must return it to its place. And also you must to have a place for the trash. In conclusion, to have a easier life, you must have good organization and cleaning and eating habits.
Okay, thank you very much, my dear Stefania. That was an extraordinary presentation. I mean, you had less than 3 mistakes, which are not that difficult to identify them. And well, I have nothing else but to congratulate you. And it was a great topic. I mean, how to organize your day. You mentioned that somehow a hobby, not a hobbit, a hobby, a hobby should be repeatedly made for at least 21 days out of the month, and that's a day after another, meaning that in order for a hobby to become a ritual, in order to become um, something that your mind, your brain will automatically think of it and do it, you must do it 21 days or so. So that was really interesting. And yes, I have heard of that information. I have heard of that before, especially for exercising. And well, if you follow these steps, it will eventually become not only a hobby, okay, but a daily routine, okay? So there is a difference, of course, but in order to make it repeatedly automatically, then yes, I agree with you. We have to do it repeatedly. That way we can manifest to our brain about what should be done. All right. Well, thank you, my dear Stefania. Now let's wait for your other classmates to connect. Remember, our next presentator will be Valentina, and She's going to talk about, she's going to give her opinion, her summary about the diary of Anne Frank. All right, so let's give her 2 more minutes. I will send her a message and telling her that I am ready. Okay, so here, as you can see, it's either Anna Frank, if you translate it into Spanish, but remember, she's a German Jewish teen. Well, she was a German Jewish teen. Hello, my dear Valentina. How are you today? I
Hi,
believe you're...
teacher. Un momento, teacher, es que voy a conectar un ratito mi celular con el cargador, please.
Yes, yes.
Okay, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening, my dear Valentina. Welcome to today's class. Today is May 18, and I was just explaining about Anne Frank or Anna Frank, okay? In English, well, remember, she's a German Jewish teen, una jovencita germano-judía, ok, entonces el nombre sería Anne Frank o también Anna Frank, dependiendo cuál sería tu interpretación en este momento. So today you told me you are going to talk about Anne Frank, and well, I have heard of her. I have heard of her in my back when I was in high school. Actually, when I was in high school, it was obligatory to read about her book. It's like a biography, and it's really, really interesting. It's outstanding, extraordinary, okay, how this girl, Anne Frank, had not the opportunity, but the capacity, the courage, el coraje, the courage to manifest and record what was happening around her in times of really, really madness. Madness was going on around that time. I believe it was the First World War, la Primera Guerra Mundial, or la Segunda. Was it the second one with the Germans, con los alemanes?
Yes, second.
The Second World War. Okay,
Yes.
so this is going to be an interesting. I don't know if you're going to give your opinion or explain about the actual diary, or if you are going to give your opinion, but either one is correct, it doesn't matter. Lo que tú decidas decir sobre Ana Frank es bienvenido, solamente para agregar lo que acabo de decir. Un libro extraordinario en donde una joven decide escribir lo que estaba pasando a su alrededor, esto en la Segunda Guerra Mundial. Y como te comentaba, as I was mentioning, I've heard of her because I didn't have the chance to read her book, but that's not an option. That's not a good excuse. All right. So I also heard of her movie. There was a movie that came out about 3 years ago. Okay, and I still haven't given me or given myself a time to go over her movie, her life, her story. So I have homework. Thanks to you, gracias a ti, ahora tengo tarea, okay? The movie and the book. So, what can you tell me about Anna Frank? My dear Valentina, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, teacher. Anna Frank is a Jewish girl. She receives a diary and begins to write in it the first note 2 days later, and describing her family and classmates, some school events. She periodically mentions the change in the life of youth after the occupation of the Netherlands by Nazi Germany, feeling the lack of true friends, and appellation Kitty to the diary. In this way, turn him. The girl begins to feel overwhelmed by loneliness. She feels that the family cannot complement the presence of friends from the past, and that her mother does not understand and thinks her mischievous. Keep studying, learning language, reading books, and journaling, constantly reading her literary skill and diary notes become more complex. Anna makes critical description of the social environment and the people with whom she shares the haiku, how hideout. It filters the joy of celebrating parties, the fear of theft, but also the ongoing conflicts with her mother and Dussel, caused by this contact that she feels treated like a shield. In early 1944, Anna Frank discovered her own sexuality and begins to approach Peter Van Damme in search of friendship, describing her thoughts on love in her diary. The two often retire to the attic to discuss and get to know each other better. Anna understands after a while that Peter has a weak character and decide that their relationship is only one of friendship. Minister Gary Bolkestein speech on March 28, 1944 on Radio Orange on the documentary Value of the Writing Testimony of the suffering suffered by the Nazis during their occupation led Anna to rewrite her diary, wishing to publish it later. Then I leave you in a video another summary. Anna writes more and more about war, believing good, feminism, and the destruction of ideals. The last note, Data Ghost 1, 1944, is introspective, analytics, and self-critical, revealing both sides of Anna's personality. 3 days later, entered the High Court and arrested the 8 refugees who were hiding in the annex.
Okay, my dear Valentina. So here I have some notes. In the beginning of your presentation, this word popped up. So overwhelmed, abrumada, overwhelmed. Okay, learning languages, and last but not least, refugees. Okay, so not many mistakes, no big deal, no problem. The most important thing is to give your opinion about Anna Frank, or to give your opinion about her book. Okay, what we can rescue from her courage and so on. So that's the most important thing here. And yes, back again, she is a must read book. One must read her books, at least in the American culture, specifically in high school. Okay, so as I mentioned before, there are many movies in which her name is mentioned, and one of them, if I can recall, is about a Californian high school. And well, this high school deals with a lot of teenagers from, how can I say this, teenagers whose background is not as polite, is not as peacefully as we want them to be. So in this movie, the teacher tries to motivate the students by recommending many books. And if I can recall correctly, she mentioned that when one of her students mentioned that she does not know, referring to the teacher, one of the students mentioned, I don't think you know, or I don't think you are familiarized with our background, with what we have to go through every day. I don't think you know, you do not know that much. So the teacher replies by commenting, you are not the only person who has obstacles in life, at least in this world. And she then mentions the book by Anne Frank, and she mentions how horrible and difficult her life was. After after her description about Anna Frank, the students connected themselves to the teacher and to Anna Frank, and that was the key moment. That was a key moment to persuade them to read and to write. So that was an interesting movie in which Anna Frank was present. My dear Valentina, I appreciate your presentation. Thank you very much. I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. That way we can continue in our Pearson platform activities. Thank you very much, Valentina. I will see you tomorrow.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Yvonne.
Bye, take care. Hi, Mr. Zulueta, how are you?
Hello, my dear Yvonne Casas. I am doing great. As you can see, your classmate came up with an interesting topic. As a matter of fact, all of your classmates came up with interesting
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, sure did. Yeah,
about
completely.
Anna Frank. You are going to talk about
Gender equality, yes. I love that topic, by the way.
All right. So Valentina just told me that she just got done reading this book. That's why she took the decision to give her opinion or to give us a brief summary about her life. So that was quite interesting. Now,
Yeah.
please give me 30 seconds. That way I can find an appropriate video. That way we can play it as you talk. So 30 seconds, please.
Okay, just I'm gonna talk about. No, sorry. Yes, go ahead. By the way, Mr. Zuleta, I have a presentation.
All right, well, that makes my life easier. Let me make you co-host.
Yes, please.
Gender equality by Mrs. Casas.
Yes. Great, now I'm co-host. Okay, so I'm gonna play it. So thanks for this space. I'm going to talk about gender equality, the gap that can help reduce the poverty, by Gloria Casas. Okay, why gender equality is so important? In the first step, I want to introduce about this topic, talking about it's a problem that it became from the culture way. I mean, this gap, this difference between the earn the money that earn between men and women is a big difference, is a big problem from every society. So it start with a cultural way, the cultural way that we think in our society. Also interview the patriarchy, I can't pronounce that word. Teacher, them, you can help me with this word. So in the cultural way, we used to think that the woman is the person who have to care about the house, about the children, and those type of things. So the other problem in gender equality topic is the legislation and the labor system. There are many big gap between men and women, and it's also a problem to the governments because there aren't enough laws to reduce this gap. And also, I would like to say that the products made with male body measured, I mean, for example, the security um, things, the security issues are development and measured by the body, male body, and it is not good for the woman because it has a much probabilities to suffer some accidents, for example, if it's measured on the cars in that way. So, and the other problem too is the poverty produce the poverty in general. So, the most of people that care the children, if it's a couple separate, I mean, there are a broke family is the woman. So the woman care about the safe and this type of thing from the children. So that's why the poverty influences to the gender equality, and it generates more poverty if there are more big gap in this subject. So I have an example from Europe that says that if one man earn $1, just 77 cents earn the woman. So there are a difference between the salary between men and women. So it's a problem, global problem, by the way. But there are some countries uh, that can reduce this gap. For example, one of them is Iceland, and this country reduce this gap, generating more regulation, more laws in favor to the women sector. So this gap, if it's this gap reduce, the poverty also going to reduce, and it's going to be benefits for everyone. And also we can get the ODS, I mean the Sustainable Development Goals for the future, and that this is going to be also a good policy public if we implement this type of legislation. So I did just a short interview, and I finished with this. There, Mr. Zuleta. So I'm going to be listening for your feedback.
Right, my dear Casas, a really, really interesting topic. And do not worry about the length. I mean, as long as you are enthusiastic about presenting your topic, I mean, my goal has been achieved. Before I forget, let me come up with these annotations that I made. In the beginning, became. I believe you mentioned become.
Yeah.
I know that you know, but this is something that popped up, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Patriarchy, patriarchy, patriarchy.
Patriarchy. Okay.
Patriarchy, okay. Woman in plural, women.
Okay.
Um, for the women's sector specifically. And then this phrase, talking about women, they are going to benefit from this, okay? So they are going to benefit from whatever result or whatever it is that we're talking about. And adding more information to your presentation, I agree with you. Men have not been equal throughout times, and women have manifest their inequality. For example, I can talk about the suffrage, el sufragio, in which women fought for their right to vote, right to have the same opportunities in a company to gain as much money as men. And yes, I mean, I agree with you. They have the entire equality. And well, thanks to those brave women, we are now changing as a whole environment. We are understanding more about gender equality, which is your presentation topic. My dear Casas, I appreciate you coming up with this interesting and controversial topic. I know that, for example, in TV shows, many people are still talking about these topics, but more than a debate, I believe that we need a solution, a quick solution. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's so important. Even if we want to reduce the poverty, we have to reduce this gap.
Exactly. Well, my dear Yvonne, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing you into tomorrow's class. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Yvonne.
thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you. Okay, I have just received my dear students Jasmine's presentation. She's going to talk about family member and she's going to concentrate on her sister. So she will describe her sister. In this occasion, I have this video. So let's listen to Jasmine's description about her sister.
Jasmine Guarita Bustillos. Today I'm going to talk about my family. I'm going to tell you a little about my sister. Her name is Saili. She is 11 years old. She is straw brown hair. Her eyes are big and brown color. She likes animals like hen, rooster, chicks, dogs, cats, horses, pigs, turtles, fish. She likes most of the animals. She is in elementary school and is a good student. I think it's a really good student, very good student. When she grows up, she wants to be a doctor. My sister plays volleyball, but she doesn't time for practice everyday volleyball because she study a lot. Uh, my sister lives in Sucre with my mom, and she always talks to me on WhatsApp. She is very curious. Teacher, I think that is all I can to tell about my sister. I think now I talk about my mother. Her name is Elsa. Her hair is straight and black color. She is a teacher, but right now she doesn't work like teacher. But she works. She likes it. Uh, uh, she likes eat a dessert. Her favorite dessert is lemon pie and carrot cake. And her favorite food is mondongo. Mondongo is a food with pig and spicy. She likes all food with spicy. She have a female cat. Like my sister, my mom loves animal. My mom is a brave and strong fighter woman. From her, I learned to be strong, very strong. I think is all that I can to talk about my mom. I have a brother, but I don't have a relationship with him now. In the past, yes, I has relationship with him, but now no. Uh, his name is Ivar. He is a doctor. I think he is 30 years old. I don't remember well. Uh, he lived with my father, but and now in this moment he live in Chile. Um, is all that I know about my brother. I think it's all, teacher. Thank you for listen to me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jasmine. I appreciate you coming up with this topic, which is not it's not as easy as it sounds. So thank you for sharing personal information about your family. Now, before I forget, let me tell you some common mistakes, small mistakes that really uh, um, pop out, okay, in my mind, in my ear when I'm listening, and something is not correct. A red light bulb starts lighting. So these are some of those common mistakes, all right? For example, when you are describing the type of hair a family member has, if you want to say that she or he has pelio lacio, then the pronunciation would be straight, straight, straight. Now, if it's long, straight, long, black hair, straight, long, gray hair, if she is old, okay? I also heard something like her dessert, su postre, dessert, because desert es el desierto, dessert es el postre. Dessert, desert, dessert, desert. Y también creo que pusimos el pronombre it. Ok, recordemos por qué utilizamos el pronombre. Hablar del dessert y lo vas a mencionar como tal, entonces omitimos el pronombre. Ok, prácticamente pusiste los dos juntos. Ok, her favorite it dessert is, okay, solamente uno. Her favorite dessert is chocolate cake. It is her favorite dessert because she has been eating it since she was a child. ¿Ok? En la segunda oración sí apliqué el it para no tener que decir el postre otra vez. ¿Ok? A lo último, I had, ¿ok? Yo tuve o no tuve la oportunidad de conocer a mi hermano. I had the opportunity. I didn't have the opportunity, ¿ok? The opportunity, sorry. And well, solamente lo marqué porque creo que escuché como un I has. Pero bueno, your presentation was your presentation had fluency. I mean, you had a presentation, an introduction, a development, and a conclusion. So I am watching my cell phone and I am also recording my feedback. That way I can send it to you and I can detect that you are pre-recording another audio. So maybe that's for a different presentation or maybe a continuation of this topic, but no big deal. I am going to continue with Maria Jose's presentation. She also sent me a message about she's going to send me her presentation. So maybe I have to wait longer, but no big deal. Now, if I receive another presentation from your classmates, I will play them. This is how we can work, okay? And well, thank you very much. Let's wait for other presentations. All right, so now let's continue with Kate. Kate's presentation, and she will talk about a project in Bolivia, which is a hospital for, let's see if I remember correct, for small species, something like that. So let's see if this hospital deals with animals or with actual humans. Well, I found this video. I think it's appropriate. So let's go over Caitlin's presentation.
Good evening. Today I will tell you about a job that I am part of, and it is called Architectural Project of the first veterinary public hospital small species in Bolivia. The work includes a pre-formulation of the project where we were allowed to know the difficulties that exist with the animals. Throughout the investigation, the architectural design proposal of veterinary public hospital was reached. This proposal will be presented for the consideration by Department of Veterinary Medicine and zootechnics so that they can carry out the steps they consider necessary for the execution of the proposal. In the research, various activities were carried out within a methodological process, posing the problem, objectives, and methodology to be followed, and then starting to collect field information. Information was collected on the historical, legal, institutional, socio-economical, and physical aspects. After the information is collected, a diagnosis is made and the results are presented using graphics tools, including a table of needs, architectural program, relationships matrices, zoning. In this way, the design of the hospital is conceptualized. Animals were gaining more and more space in the daily affairs of citizens, and respect for them is the hallmark of an ethical society that is reflected in the common good of all. In this context, the health of domestic animals is an issue of great importance, especially since it directly interferes with the balance of well, with the balance of the environmental, animal welfare, and public health. The installation of a public veterinary hospital is based on a strategy that aims to understand and solve a contemporary health problem created by human. Animal and environmental convergence, a concept known as unique health. This approach encourages joint action to achieve optimal health for people, animals, and the environment. According to the latest census by the Mayer Zoonosis Unit, there are at least half a million dogs in the capital. Of the total, 53,000 are homeless and represent 23%. In In 2015, there were 27,000 homeless dogs, and they represented 11% of the canine population in Cochabamba. The figure doubled in 3 years, from the 2655 to 2058. Finally, domestic animals are protected by state, and their protection is guaranteed by Article 3 of the Law for the Defense of Animals Against Acts of Cruelty and Abuse, as well as by Article 32 of the Law of Crimes Against the Environment. In addition, district law establishes in Article 3, subsection B, that the lack of veterinary assistance to sick, injured, exhausted, or mutilated animals is considered mistreatment. Therefore, the availability of the public veterinary service is essential with the main objective of the providing free and universal care with dignity and respect. I'm not sure if what I explained about the project was understood. Anyway, the next one I explain in more detail. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you very much, my dear Caitlin. My dear Caitlin, in her explanation about this particular hospital, all right? So it was quite interesting. I really enjoyed it. And I would like to recommend you the following video, which I will send you on a private WhatsApp. This video will explain the correct pronunciation of regular verbs, okay? So the pronunciation of the ED sound, okay? So remember, called, ed. That's the ID sound. Never called, no, called, id, allowed, id, la I, la D, id. Si no es con la I, con la D, id, usualmente va a ser la T, con pronunciación con T, ¿ok? También otro verbo, considered, okay? Various, a variety of things, various opinion, various options, okay? Well, my dear Caitlin, thank you very much. You will be receiving this video in approximately 5 minutes, so don't worry about that. Now let's continue with Maria Jose's presentation. Okay, and she will talk about an eating disorder. In this case, it's bulimia, okay? Bulimia and anorexia nervosa, meaning that it deals with some kind of nervousness going on, okay? So that's going to be also an interesting topic. I am quite surprised by my students. I am really proud of your presentations today. So after Maria Jose, I will play Veronica's presentation, and I believe she's going to continue talking about her well, she is a professional singer. I don't know if you remember her last presentation, but she talked about a little bit about her professional lifestyle as a singer. So Veronica will go after Maria Jose, and I have received another presentation from Jasmine, and in this case, she's not going to talk about another family member. Instead, she's going to concentrate on herself and sí misma. So she's going to describe herself, and maybe, well, she's going to continue informing and telling personal stories, which is something that I appreciate a lot, okay? So I have asked Jasmine to send me perhaps a picture about her, that way I can play it once she starts speaking. So we have 3 more presentations. So today was a really busy day. So let's continue with Majo's presentation. Okay, and I have also received Nicolas Tamayo, so that means we have 4 presentations left. Okay, so let's continue with Majo's presentation.
Hello teacher, hello everybody. Today I talk about mental health because I consider it is a topic very important. Sometimes we ignore that. There are a variety of mental disorders, each with different manifestations. In general, they are characterized by combination of alteration in thinking, perception, and hello everybody. Today I talk about mental health because I consider it is a topic very important. Sometimes we ignore that. There are a variety of mental disorders, each with different manifestations. In general, they are characterized by combination of alteration in thinking, perception, emotion, behavior, and relationship with others. These include depression, bipolar affective disorder, schizophrenia, and other psychosis, dementia, intellectual disabilities, and development disorders such as autism. Depression. Depression is the first is a common mental disorder and one of the leading cause of disability all the world. In effect, more than 2,064 million people worldwide, with a higher prevalence in women than in men. The patient with depression present sadness, loss of interest, and ability to enjoy, feeling of guilt or low self-esteem, sleep or appetite disorder, fatigue and lack of concentration. Depression can be long-lasting or recurrent, greatly affecting the ability to carry out work and academic activities and with daily life. In its most serious form, it can lead to suicide. Treatments are available. To moderate depression can be effectively treated with therapies that use dialogue such as cognitive behavioral therapy or psychotherapy. Antidepressants can be effective treatment for moderate or severe depression, but they are not the treatment of choice depression. Neither should they be used to treat childhood depression, and they are not treatment of choice in adolescents, to who they should be prescribed with caution. In the treatment of depression, psychosocial aspects are taken into account and facts that can cause stress are determined, such as financial difficulties, problem at work, and physical or psychological abuse, as well as sources of support such as family members and friends. Recover from social activities are also important. Bipolar affective disorder. This disorder affects around 45 million people around the world. It is usually characterized by alternating manic and depressive episodes, separated by periods of normal mood. During episodes of mania, the patient that has irritable mood, hyperactivity, elevated self-esteem, and decreased need for sleep. People who have only manic episodes and do not suffer from depressive phases are also classified with the diagnostic of bipolar disorder. Mood stabilizing medication are available to effectively tackle the acute phases of bipolar disorder and prevent relapses. In addition, psychosocial support is an essential element of treatment. Can be prevented. It's difficult to prevent mental disorder. If the patient has a history of mental problems, it is important to go to a specialist in psychology or psychiatry to be able to establish and treatment as soon as possible so that the problem does not get worse and the patient does not feel worse.
All right, my dear Maria Jose, thank you very much. That was an interesting topic about, well, some types of mental disorders, and we can imply many other disorders, okay? And yes, they do deal with psychological manner, psychological, okay? Psychosis. All right. In the very beginning, I would like to recommend you to just move your verb in the beginning. Americans or English speakers, they usually describe the noun first. So it is a very important topic. Topic very important? No. Okay, so those are just three common mistakes that I found, minor mistakes. And well, I appreciate you taking the time to create this presentation from beginning. All right, so thank you very much, Maria Jose. Now let's continue with Veronica's. After that, we will continue with Tamayo's, and then we are going to conclude with Jasmine's second presentation. So one more, give me a second, guys.
Ensemble. We started 2 years ago as a trio, and now we are more than 10 members. We are all artists, of which three are partners. We come together because we have the same vision, discipline, and we always believe that we are capable and achieving great things. We are divided in the following ways. For example, string sections, percussions, pianos, and voices such as soprano, contralto, and tenor. I am in charge of the coordinations, logistic on the entire group, in charge of social networks, marketing, and advertising. Having a musical ensemble is a great responsibility, since it requires a lot of time, organizing, rehearsing, coordination with clients, having events punctuality, discipline, and many details. It is also very important to have a sound technical team with parking for the logistic issue. And they are divided as follows. For example, supervisor, sound engineer, and coordinator. We have a wide repertoire and variety of sound engineer, and coordinator. We have a wide repertoire and variety of styles such as classics, romantic, versions, movie soundtrack, and contemporary musical. We perform at private events and also public events. But lately we have only performing at private, private and small events due to for the pandemic. Our minimum performance is a 1 hour and a maximum of 3 hours. That is recommend not don't spend more than 3 hours since the style of the ensemble is very interesting, more relaxing music, but it also has time limit. We are all academy musicians, which means that we study music and live from this. It is something that we are passionate about. We do not want to stop doing. Is the musical director of the ensemble. He is a teacher at the Suzuki Music Academy. He has played the violin since he was 3 years old, and today he has a degree in pedagogy to teach children. He plays a very important role in this ensemble, as he directs the string section, which is one of the most important characteristics of the ensemble. Managing a large group is not easy. It requires a lot of patience, perseverance, and a lot of responsibility. The clients are mostly weddings, companies, or private events, where each client requires a different stylist than the other. We have grown in a very short time, and I am very proud of that because even in the pandemic, each one has been improving musically.
All right, my dear Veronica. So that was a great presentation. Thank you for sharing, and congratulations on coming up with this group full of talent. Okay, and well, before I forget, let me tell you the following mistakes that I detected. For example, here first I have that your co-workers, that your friends, your colleagues, they really love to work together. So they are somehow cooperatives, okay? They have a lot of organization, okay? And due to a thorough analysis and after working many hours, the group has become a variety of themes of songs. So there is a repertoire. So we stay with the French word repertoire. And thanks to that, you are now able to, to be present at any given event. Okay, so event, la sílaba tónica es en la segunda E, event. event. All right, so very, very good. I have sent you a short video to your private message about how your presentation went on, and well, it did went on well. Okay, so thank you very much, Veronica. Now let's continue with Tamayo's presentation. Tamayo's presentation. 1 second.
Hello, teacher, Mr. Zulueta. I hope you're having a good night, a good day. And for this occasion, I would like to talk to you about my daily routine, what I do in my day to day. And I think the best option to do it is divide it into 3 parts, yes. And that should be morning, afternoon, and night. Well, let's start with the morning. I wake up at 7 a.m. and the first thing that I do is do my bed. Well, the first thing that I do is pray. But anyways, I do my bed, and because I think when you wake up and quickly do your bed, you will have a good day. You're gonna feel motivated all day. Well, when I finish to do my bed, I go to the kitchen and I have breakfast with my 2 little brothers, Santiago and Matias. Then I brush my teeth and wash my face. And I go to my room and I sit on my desk and turn on my computer to start my classes. My classes begin at 8 a.m. from 8 a.m. from 1 p.m. But in the middle, like 10 a.m., we have a little 20 minutes break to rest, to eat, or well, do anything. My classes have finished and my father has come to my house at 1:30 p.m. from work, and we all have lunch together, and then we go to rest a few minutes. At 2:30 p.m. my father returns to his job and my mother goes to my grandparents' house because every day she have to help my grandfather, and my brothers and I stay at home in the afternoon. But in a few minutes we get ready, and like 4 p.m. we take a taxi and we go to the gym. In the majority of cases, we are in the gym almost 2 hours. When we do a lot of exercise. But also sometimes we are in the gym just an hour because we have other things to do. For example, go to the supermarket and buy, I don't know, anything, milk or well, I arrive to my house at 6:30 or almost 7 p.m. and take a rest, and then I take a shower so I can have dinner with my family, and then I do my homework until 8:30 p.m. because then I have my English classes with you in executive English. When my classes finish almost 10 p.m., I return to do my homework until 11 p.m. because later it's too late. My family and I decided to spend time in family, and we watch a movie, but also sometimes when I don't have much homework, I go out with some friends who lives in my condominium. I don't remember how to say that word, condominio. Well, they live in my condominium, but that happens rarely because usually I always have much homework, because in my school they give us a lot of homework. Well, anyways, I am on my bed at 11:30 p.m. and I sleep and rest to start another day tomorrow. And that is all. That is all my daily routine, teacher. Bye bye, Mr. Zulueta.
Thank you very much, my dear Tamayo. Interesting topic about your daily routines and how busy your day can become in certain occasions. So I appreciate you taking the time to coming up with this presentation. Before I forget, here are my annotations. Let's see. So in the beginning, you wanted to say that it is extremely important to start your exercises, your daily routine as early as possible. That should be better than the phrase that you use, which I do not remember. But yes, you can change it into the following two different options that I wrote here. For example, you should start or you should be. I got it. Your phrase was should be at noon, for noon, o sea, en español creo que quisiste decir mientras más temprano mejor, ¿ok? Pero estuvo mal. Así que te recomiendo las siguientes dos, ¿ok? Should be as early as possible, or, ¿no? Teniendo en cuenta el vocabulario que vimos en la unidad 2, or should be in the early hours of the day, okay? Should be in the okay? Should be at noon, etc. Después tenemos my family and I. Me gustó cómo ahora sí aplicamos my family and I. Creo que por ahí escuché en alguna ocasión I and my family or me and my family, pero primero va la familia y después va uno. Pero donde nos equivocamos tantito fue en el, ese verbo regular que termina con ed. Decided, 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 id. Tengo que hacer como una I y una D y termina id, id. Decided, decided, decided. Ok, te voy a enviar un video de ello. Y bueno, duplex. Ok, duplex, pues bueno, para no complicarte la vida, pudiste haber dicho home. De hecho, hay una canción, Sweet Home Alabama, ok. ¿A qué le llamas hogar? Puedes vivir en un departamento, en un duplex, en un condominio, se le puede llamar home, ok. Pero sí, condominium, también en inglés, condominium or apartment. Pero creo que hay una diferencia entre un apartment y condominium. All right. Well, my dear Tamayo, that was it for this presentation. Thank you very much. Now let's continue with, I believe this is our final presentation, la última presentación del día, y es Majo. Vamos con Majo, el cual va a hablar de ella, un poquito de ella. So let's continue with that. Perdón, es Jasmine. Jasmine tiene dos presentaciones el día de hoy, so let's continue with Jasmine.
Now I'm going to talk about me, only a little. Well, my name is Jasmine Guarita Bustillos. I'm 23 years old. I have a curly hair and is black. Um, I have a Cinnabon ski. I was studying business administration in the Unifrance University, but now I'm studying cabin crew in Jet Airways Academy. I want to learn English and German. Now I learn English, German. I will complete in the future. I like sports. When I was in school, I played volleyball, soccer, and now I practice climb too. When I was teenager, I wanted to be military, but I doesn't enjoy the support of my family. They don't believe in my dreams, so I had to study. I studied for 2 years, 2 years commercial engineers in Sucre. But I say one day I say I can't do it something I don't like. So I quit college and I decided that I alone will be make my dreams true. So now I'm live in Santa Cruz. I live alone. I like live alone, and I work every day very hard for my dreams. I want to one day come to the USA and belong to the army. This is my dream. I know that this dream is a crazy, it's a very crazy, but now I know this day is come. I knew a good person one years ago, maybe. This person believed in me. He believes in my dreams and he supports me in everything. He's like my guardian angel. As my sister and my mom, I love animals, but in special cats. I have a cat. His name is Raja. Is my partner of my life. Is my baby. Is all of me. Um, uh, I think it's all I can to talk about me, teacher. Don't believe in me. He believes in my dreams and he supports me in everything. He's like my guardian angel. As my sister and my mom, I love animals, but in special cats. I have a cat. His name is Raja. Is my partner of my life. Is my baby. Is all of me. Um, uh, I think it's all I can to talk about me, teacher.
Thank you very much, my dear Jasmine. Jasmine, with your second presentation, talking about yourself and how you like cats, how you like pets, animals, especially cats. So that's one mistake that I was able to detect. So let's begin in order. Today I am going to talk about myself. That's better than I am going to talk about me. I am going to talk about myself, okay? I believe you try to mention climbing among your hobbies. You mentioned you liked volleyball and some other hobbies, some other sports, but there was one sport, specifically sport that was climbing maybe. So I don't know about that. I will send you a message. So when you were talking about your family, they didn't believe in me. They didn't. Okay. Um, I live in Sucre. I live at Sucre. Okay. So in your specific phrase, maybe yes, we can change it to I am now at Sucre instead of I am now in Sucre. At Sucre. All right. When you were talking about your cat, okay, I like pets, especially cats. I have a cat. Its name is, su nombre es, su de quién, de eso, como el payaso eso, it, ¿ok? Pero bueno, también tenemos alguna cultura americana que según ellos le pueden llamar con un pronombre personal para persona, he o she, porque pues ya lleva muchos años viviendo con ellos y ya es un miembro de la familia, así que gramaticalmente sí te puedo hacer la recomendación, pero culturalmente ahí lo tienes. Tú decides. Ajá, y ya al final, para concluir, podemos concluir, por ejemplo, well, teacher, this is all I have to say about myself. This is all I can inform you about myself. So this was a short or a brief story about my personal lifestyle. Thank you very much. I hoped you liked my presentation. Okay, well, thank you very much, my dear Jasmine. That was the feedback today. I decided to give each and everyone a personal feedback, but live. Okay, so with that being said, thank you very much. That should be all for today. I'm looking forward to seeing you all into tomorrow's class at Pearson platform. Thank you very much. Have a great night.